Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. So today's motivational tip for all of you is to help you understand how much of your damn energy you end up wasting. And yes, I know you end up wasting a lot of your energy, and how to look at that energy waste differently and how to understand where you actually can and should rather invest that energy. So let's talk about energy waste, something that I'm very, very familiar with because I see so many of you wasting your energy in so many different aspects of your gender identity. Some of you who have not started your gender transition waste your energy ruminating about all the catastrophizing things, all of the things you're afraid of, all of the things that you think, presume are going to happen, as if you have a crystal ball at your disposal, which you do not, and you cannot predict your future, and you don't know how things are going to pan out for you. The rest of you are wasting a lot of energy by not doing what you know you ought to do. A lot of you by now, adults, know that you're struggling with gender dysphoria. You know that you have gender dysphoria without even consulting specialists, such as myself, to confirm for you that you have gender dysphoria. And you know by now that the only thing that's going to help you alleviate distress and pain of gender dysphoria is to seek help, is to seek transition-related help. And yet you waste your energy avoiding it. You waste your energy doing everything and anything other than focusing on yourself. For some reason, you prefer to invest all of this energy in the avoidance, denial, keeping yourself busy, overworking, telling yourself you're not ready, telling yourself you'll do it when you're more financially stable, telling yourself all of the things you keep telling yourself. And as you tell yourself, the time goes by. As you tell yourself, days go by, months go by, weeks go by, years go by. You're wasting your energy. And then there's others of you who have already transitioned, who have already achieved congruency or achieved a sense as close of congruency as you possibly can, given maybe your access to resources, giving where you're at in life, giving to your possibility. And you're also wasting your energy. And you're probably wondering, how are you wasting your energy? Well, you're wasting your energy because you're also now ruminating and you're thinking about all of the things you wish were different about you that you in fact cannot change. Height comes to mind. A lot of trans masculine identified individuals ruminate about not being tall enough. For some reason, because they think that the world revolves around only tall men. Please, come on, really? A lot of you who trans femme identified are also ruminating around other things. Hair, for example, maybe not being able to get a hair transplant. Maybe it's the fact that you suffered early hair loss and now have to wear a wig or hair extensions. And so you ruminate about all of the things that, well, you probably can change to some extent. There's surgery now that can make people taller. But at what point are certain things about perfecting who we are going to have to come to stop? So I know that all of you at different stages of in transition and post-transition, wasting time and energy on things you cannot change, on things that are just not going to move you one iota closer to your goal, closer to being happy, closer to being free of all of this thinking on all of this kind of being stuck in a constant loop, closer and closer. I know you're all doing this. So here's the things that I want to share with you about energy. This is going to be a motivational tip for you. Energy, if those of you who know a thing or two about physics, probably gonna maybe jump in here and comment below and be like, Dr. Z, you're not really describing the law of thermodynamics properly. It doesn't apply here in this regard. Listen, let's not get into semantics and let's not get into the absolutes. Energy, nonetheless, as all of us know, is something that cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy can only be converted into something else. In other words, energy always has conversion output where it can change and modify into something else. For that reason, I want you to think about your energy output toward things you're wasting your energy on, toward things you cannot change in this way. You have X amount of energy that you can spend. Let's say you have well, let's say I'm trying to think in what conversion model I want to put energy into, but let's just keep it very, very simple. Let's say you have however much you have left tea in here with lipstick all over the glass stream. Not the most prettiest picture, but let's say this is the energies that you have, right? This is the energies that you have right now to input into anything that you are about to create, into anything that you're about to make happen in your life. You have a choice. Now, what you can do is you can use, oh my God, I just want to cover up the lipstick portion, guys. You can choose to input this amount of energy into ruminating and thinking about things you cannot change, ruminating and thinking about things that you cannot modify, you cannot convert, things that are never going to be different, things that are just done. It's past. Give it up. Put it behind you. You're driving forward into your life. Stop constantly looking into the rearview mirror. Stop constantly looking into the past. Start looking into the front. Start looking into what you're driving toward. So you have a choice. You can either utilize this energy and put it into stuff that you cannot change and make that grow even bigger and hence ruminate even more. Or you can realize that since I'm going to be wasting this much energy, since this much energy is going to be converted into something else rather than wasted, since this much amount of energy is going to be an output, I might as well put it into something, towards something that's actually going to get me closer to happiness. That's actually going to get me closer to my goal. That's actually going to get me closer to what I want to achieve. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do to put this energy towards that can make you closer to your goal. It could be even something as simple as, I'm going to put my energy, instead of thinking about how I wish I was taller, I'm going to put all of this energy into being mindful that I cannot be taller and height is just something I'm going to have to accept, and I'm going to work on my acceptance. Or it can be something as complex as, I'm going to input all of this energy into other areas of my life. Where in my life can I use some improvement? Where can I use this 5-10 minutes of my day, instead of sitting here and dwelling about things I cannot change? Where can I put it into things that I can change, that I will change, that I must change, and that I will change? So think about it in that way, because energy, as you can see, is something that you're going to have to shift around anyway. You're going to input, I guarantee you're going to put the same amount of energy into thinking negatively and sitting there and thinking about everything else that you cannot do. Or you can put the exact same amount of energy into things that you can do, that you can change. And guess what? In the end of a day, in the end of a week, in the end of a month, in the end of a year, over here you would have accumulated an energy output that revolves around negativity, that revolves around all of the things you told yourself you can and cannot do, all of the things that revolves around all of the things that you regret, that you wish for, that just nobody can do anything about. Or in the end of a week, in the end of a month, in the end of a year, you would have made actually progressive, realistic leaps, progressive, realistic shifts and changes in your life that you can see, that are tangible, that are perhaps even measurable, that are observant, that are making you happier, bringing you closer to your goal, making you feel much more whole as a human being. On top of that, you want to hear what's going to be an icing on your cake over here if you keep doing that? On top of that, you're also learning and habituating yourself into behavior pattern of thinking positively, thinking pragmatically. I don't want to confuse, for you people to confuse positivism with this self-positive help psychology, right? Overly affirmations. I don't believe in this stuff. I'm sorry. I think that positive affirmations are useless unless you're actually going to put action behind it. To really modify behavior, you need to have action behind it. So over here, what you're also doing, the icing on a cake, is that you're habituating yourself into turning something into more positive aspects of life, into actually doing something actionable that you can do and that you can change, versus putting that energy into something that's negative. And because you're doing this incrementally, even on small things, even in something so small, remember I said, as sitting there and starting to accept that there's things about yourself you cannot change. What you're also doing, without even realizing it, is that you're boosting your confidence, is that you're boosting your self-esteem. And the way you're boosting your confidence and you're boosting your self-esteem is because when we think more positively and we start making changes happen over here, we feel good about ourselves. We feel proud. Trust me, you will feel proud realizing that you spent less time thinking about things you cannot change. You spent less time having an energy output going toward things that cannot be modified. You will, and you will start thinking much better about yourself if you shift over here. So that is my motivational tips for you. Start thinking about everything as an energy output. Everything is an energy output. It is okay sometimes to be a little bit negative and to dwell about things you cannot change. We all do that. I do that myself too. We're human beings. But when you're constantly ruminating, and I hear this in people's narrative, when you're constantly thinking about things you cannot change, things that just beyond your control, what is the point? What a tremendous amount of energy output that is completely being wasted on some things that doesn't bring you anywhere closer. So think about it that way. If you're going to utilize energy, might as well utilize it over here. Might as well get something in your life. Might as well bring something into your life. So that's why I want you to start thinking about things you cannot change in your life. I want you to turn it around and think about it different. Comment below, let me know what you think. How do you utilize your energy? Are you having your energy go to complete waste by ruminating and thinking about all of those negative things? Or are you actually starting to put them into things? And I guarantee you, people underestimate small tiny steps and what they accumulate to, and they overestimate giant leaps. It is not the giant leaps, but it is small steps over a period of time that make a difference. So start making the difference, and even things that are not noticeable will end up getting into a one giant snowball. I always call it like a snowball, little snowball. First you're putting a lot of energy output, right, for it to roll down the hill. Eventually it gets so big out of proportion it rolls by itself because it has enough energy to roll. That's how human behavior is. Comment below, let me know what you're putting your energy toward. What are the things you want to change? And you're now, as a result of this video, realizing that you cannot change, and you're going to learn on accepting it. So comment below, let me know, and I will see you all next time. Bye.